Kia ora and welcome to this episode of the Amateur Austenite. I'm Frances Duncan, author, Austenite life coach. With me is Rachel Pilwer, Austenite book buyer and all-round nerd.
Hello.
Today we're discussing chapter 30 of Emma by Jane Austen. I mean, stuff happens, but the big thing is Frank Churchill leaves.
But he just arrived.
And they've just started planning this ball. It's not exactly his fault.
No.
Emma was pretty sure it's going to happen, which shows good foresight on her part. She thinks that the Churchills are not going to allow him to remain a day beyond his fortnight. They are gracious in fact, if not in word, which I think is a beautiful sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Begrudgingly, you can stay.
Wow, so kind.
Mrs. Churchill was sick when she said that he could stay, but then she got worse, so Mr. Churchill wrote and said, Frank, we need you to come home. And Frank's like, well, I know that her illnesses only ever occur for her own convenience. I wondered whether part of her getting sick might have been, my nephew doesn't want to come home to us.
The heartbreak. That's her son. She's looked after him for so long.
Yeah.
And even if they don't use those titles.
We all like to shit on Mrs. Churchill, but we know she's actually sick.
The only reason that we really give Mrs. Churchill so much shit is because of the way Frank talks about her mostly. Yeah, she's not the great to Mr. Weston, but she did take in his kid. She didn't ask for anything. She's spent all of her life looking after him and makes him her heir. She's done a lot more for him in this society that he's living in than he would have had without her. If she hadn't done any of those things, Frank wouldn't be in this situation. He wouldn't be with Jane. Emma would be looking down on him. Frank's had it good because of Mrs. Churchill. Obviously, he doesn't really want to go home because he wants to be with Jane. But I like the fact that he does go home. I actually think it's one of the better moments in Frank's character.
That he will go home when he's called home.
That he will go home when he's told that she's sick. Like, because he's like, he doesn't want to go. And she tells, oh, you can stay. But then when he finds out that she's actually properly ill, it is a point in Frank's favour that he does actually go home to see her. Because, if anything, she deserves to have him at her side when she's unwell.
Mr. Woodhouse is the only one that actually seems to care about Mrs. Churchill. But to be fair, for him, it's he wants to know about the illness because he's interested in illnesses.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind so much about the ball. He's worried for Emma at her disappointment. But he thinks it's better for everybody to just be at home.
Is he wrong?
No.
Not at all. Go home, everybody.
Emma does a, I told you so. I said it would be so. I told you so.
It's such an Emma thing. I feel like in Emma's mind, she's always saying I told you so because she's always right. But she's not always right.
In this occasion, she was right.
In this occasion, she's right. She's probably thinking I told you so about Harry and Mr. Martin. But then she's got to eat her words on there. She's thinking all these things about Jane and why Jane is left and, like, the affair. She's also wrong about that. Mr. Knightley is the only person in this story who I think can say I told you so with any form of regularity.
Emma does more flirting with Mr. Knightley.
Oh my gosh.
He was indifferent about the ball. It was provoking. I would rather be at home. Fair.
Again, fair.
Totally fair.
He's a man in his 30s. Who wants to go out at that point?
When the ball's cancelled, alas, there was no leisure for quarrelling with Mr. Knightley. Very quickly, she switches from Frank Churchill to Mr. Knightley, and she isn't aware she's doing this.
No, she's like, I want to host this ball so I can dance with Frank. But the ball gets cancelled, and she's only like, oh, but now I won't get to fight with my friend, Mr. Knightley. He's just a friend. We just fight. It's not flirting. It's just fighting.
It's totally not flirting.
He's totally not going to come to my house anyway, and we can have that conversation there. It would have been way better in a public section, in a public spectrum. Like, he can tell me off, but not too harshly because we're in public.
Mr. Knightley would rather be at home looking over William Larkin's books. He just wants to get his job done, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's fair. He's probably got so much to do.
Yeah, he runs a whole estate.
Yeah. When does he sleep?
Never.
Because he goes to the Woodhouses, like, what, daily?
Pretty much.
To go and see Mr. Woodhouse and to see Emma. And then he'll be going and, like, visiting the people working his estate. And he'll be doing the books. Dang, son. Take a break. Go on holiday. Go to the seaside. Get some air.
So Emma's still arguing in her head with Mrs. Weston about Mr. Knightley being in love with Jane Fairfax. Good, he doesn't want to come to the ball, so he doesn't want to dance with Jane. I told you, Mrs. Weston. But Jane's super excited about the ball. The most animated she'd seen her. I hope nothing may happen to prevent the ball. What a disappointment it would be. I look forward to it with very great pleasure. Wow, Jane having emotions.
Yeah, she's kind of seen as pretty robotic up until this point.
When the ball is cancelled, she was sick, so sick that Miss Bates said she probably wouldn't have been able to go to the ball, but we know that she was sick because her boyfriend's gone. Her composure, this is Emma's thoughts, was odious.
How dare she be sick? How odious of her to be sad and unwell.
She wasn't expressing herself like she was earlier. Emma's quite an expressive person, and it must be really hard to talk to someone who's just like brick wall.
Most of this book is taking place from Emma's perspective. Is Jane actually being a brick wall, or is Emma just perceiving her as a brick wall? Like, maybe Jane is more expressive than she's being perceived, but just not to Emma's level, especially compared to Harriet, who is so, oh my god, yeah, la, 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 la. Compared to that, maybe Jane is being a neutral level, like still being expressive without being a brick wall, but Emma just doesn't perceive it that way, so it's not written that way.
Well, she's certainly not being all fawning and open all over Emma like Harriet.
But why would Jane? Emma is so mean to her.
Yeah, she kind of is.
Genuinely, some of the stuff she says about Jane, if Jane found out about it, wouldn't be able to be around Emma, I think. If she knew what Emma was saying about why she didn't go to Ireland and, like, who gave her the piano, it's like, that would be so harmful for Jane's reputation. I wouldn't be able to go out for dinner with somebody who I knew had been telling people all these lies without any kind of fact. That could actually be so harmful. Like, if this acquaintance of mine, someone who people thought we should be friends, was going around telling people I knew what she thought about my life, and then I lost my job, or I had the capability of losing my job because of what they were saying. Well, no way am I spending any time with you. But Jane doesn't know these things that Emma has been saying, especially to her boyfriend, which is hilarious because at least it means that the one person who she's telling the most is someone who A, knows that's not the truth and won't believe her and won't spread it. He loves her, but he's also like, that's not true, so I'm not going to spread lies. If she told Mr. Knightley, he would also tell her to shut up because she's being stupid. If she tells Harriet that theory, Harriet would then go back to the rest of the girls at school, and she would be like, this is what Emma said, because Harry would take what Emma says as fact. That would all get out into the school, and then people would start talking about it, because there's no way those girls would keep their mouths shut on that kind of rumour.
I guess it says something about Emma that she specifically does not tell Harriet.
I think it does show a level of foresight about Harriet's character. Funny that this is the point where Jane is, like, most expressive. Gonna get to dance with Frank, which she didn't get to do at the previous party, and that obviously she hasn't gotten to spend very much time with him. When was the last time they may have had a private conversation?
They do have one in this chapter, because as he's leaving, he just happens to walk past the Bates. Oh, I should go in there before I go to Hartfield, just because I'm passing.
But does he have a private conversation with Jane?
Miss Bates wasn't there.
Oh, okay, well then, yeah, we're fine. I was going to say, if Miss Bates is there, then no way. But if Miss Bates was away, then yeah, they could have had a proper conversation with each other about why he was going home.
He talks about his time in Highbury. Every day more precious and more delightful than the day before. Every day making me less fit to be at any other place. I think he genuinely loves Jane. That's all he's thinking about. Emma doesn't know this.
Does she think he's saying that because of her? Or
Potentially. He's about to say something. He's getting up and he's walking around and he's like, I think you can hardly be quite without suspicion. And he looks at her and she's quite calmly says, yep, it was very natural of you to pay your visit to the Bates household. And he's trying to understand her manner. He thinks that she knows about Jane. But what she thinks is he's in love with me and I have to shut this down.
I mean, obviously we know because we've read the book. But I think it could have been easily perceived Emma just willfully ignores a lot of the signs.
I don't know, he's flirting pretty full on with her though.
It's true, he is. Actually, no, in saying that, now I'm thinking about it, even Mr. Knightley thought that Frank liked Emma as well. He was so jealous about Emma and Frank that he didn't think about whether he was actually in love with Jane. And I think if anybody in the book was going to pick up the clues, it would be Mr. Knightley.
He does eventually, but at this point he doesn't know on this visit. Mr. Churchill is flattering Emma. You said it would be so. About the ball, you knew it was going to be cancelled. And she says, I would much rather have been merry than wise, which is a great slogan.
Honestly, put that on a t-shirt.
So many lines I want to put on t-shirts.
Just make a list.
I have a list.
Add this one to the list. It's true that she'd rather be merry than wise, but Emma loves being right. And so actually, she would rather be merry and wise.
Why not both?
Why not both? She'd love to have a good time, but actually I think she does get joy out of being wise and being correct.
When he leaves, Emma has a sensation of listlessness, weariness, stupidity, and disinclination to employ herself, and everything's dull and insipid, so she concludes that she must be in love. I think she's maybe just bored. She had something real fun to look forward to. She had someone to hang out with, and now that's gone.
Yeah, she had a new person who she could gab to. Also, she was able to talk shit about Jane to him, so I think that also brightened her day. Emma doesn't know enough about what it's like to be in love. She's never been in love. So maybe for her, like, and it's not to say she doesn't have any form of crush on Frank. Like, I mean, she still doesn't want to marry him, but, you know, he is an attractive man and he is new to town. So, like, you know, she could have a little bit of a crush on him. But I think she could easily mistake that and missing her friend for love because she just has no experience.
Like how ace people can have friend crushes.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be friends with someone, and because you don't feel attraction, you think that's what it is? I found that really confusing personally. There's another really great line which I think would be wonderful on t-shirt. Evil to some is always good to others. Because Mr. Knightley will be happy. How quickly, in the same little thought, she goes from Frank Churchill to Mr. Knightley.
Oh, I think I might be in love with Frank. Speaking of people I'm in love with, I think that is a really good line. And I feel like that could actually work so many of Austen's stories. That line makes me think of, like, I was going to say Darcy because obviously, but he's not really evil to Wickham. Wickham is the evil one.
And that's our discussion of Chapter 30 of Emma by Jane Austen. I've been Frances Duncan. This has been Rachel Pilwell.
Bye!
Thank you for listening, and we wish you happy reading.
3, 2, 1. Jane Austen.